Hello YouTubers, Captain Helmet 69 here, just doing another video on behalf of ScalaU2, and today we're going to talk about recommended feeding for Discus. Now I know Richard's ready and prepared. He's got a little bit of beef heart, a nice little treat for these fishes. So do you want to plop it in?
Yep.
And let's see how they like it. As you can see, Richard's tapping on the tank. That's literally a system which works really well with the fish because it literally lets them know that the food is coming. As you can see, they're going wild for it. I'll just talk to you literally while you're doing that, Richard. As I can see, you're feeding obviously the Discus some beef heart. What other foods do you use and recommend for the Discus?
The Discus are quite hungry fish by nature. They like a lot of food. Not a lot in one go, but they like it at regular intervals. I know it's not easy for everybody, but Discus really needs feeding probably 3 or 4 times a day with various foods, because that affects how they grow. They do eat more than your average fish.
So what products are you currently using then for them?
Well, I tend to give my fish beef heart in the evening, like we're doing now. They'll have flake in the day, and also Discus pellets, which are a very high protein pellet.
No, I mean I'm currently using a Discus flake.
I
know we've used the same supplier until they sort of disappeared, didn't we? Because it had a lot of garlic in the mixed into.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Because Discus fish do like garlic, believe it or not, because that's the scent of the food, and they really like garlic in the diet. But Discus fish are they will adapt to most foods. They'll eat most things because they're hungry fish, basically.
Yeah.
The thing is with Discus fish, you've got to make sure they get the right balance between protein and crap, basically. It's no good giving them rubbish. You only get out what you put in. If you want your nice colours and your nice fish, you've got to feed them good food.
You've got to feed them right, haven't you?
This is as you can see, this is beef heart, and they're loving it, and it's high in protein. And that's really a staple food of a Discus fish, really.
Yeah, I mean with the 3 products that you currently use, I know I'm using literally the 2 at the moment, but I'm looking into order some granules. I've heard there's other things which they do like. Is there any which you'd consider putting into? Because I know people feed them like varieties of brine shrimp and things like that.
Brine shrimp and things like that are fine, but you've got to be very careful. If you're using things like bloodworm or brine shrimp, you've got to make sure they come from a clean source, because that can introduce worms into the... All Discus have got worms to start with.
Yeah.
But it can introduce other diseases into the aquarium. You're better off, if you can, feeding them not processed foods, but foods that you know come from a good source. Like frozen beef heart, a good staple flake, and probably granules. Them 3 foods really, I think that's really all you need.
It's sufficient.
You don't really need to be putting bloodworm in and things like that. I know but bloodworm's really not a very good food, really. It's a fatty food, but there's not a lot of value in it, really.
Yeah, you're not really getting much from it, are they?
Not really, and you're risking, when you put things like bloodworm in your aquarium, you're risking disease, because it's from an unclean source, really. So you're better off with your frozen beef heart, things like a good quality flake, and probably granules. Well, that's what I think my fish are anyway.
Yeah, and it seems to be a very good combination.
Well, that's alright, yeah.
I'm not sure if you know this, it is a strange one. What do Discus actually eat in the natural environment, do you know?
Well, yeah, they'll eat things like fly larvae and things like that, mosquito larvae. They'll eat insects and things that fall into the water from above. They'll eat other fish's eggs. They will eat occasionally algae and things. Most fish, they're very much similar to other fish. They'll eat a lot of things that you wouldn't think they would eat. But
now, are these sort of things available which you can
not particularly.
purchase?
If you want to start mosquito larvae and things like that, you've got to cultivate your own things and things like that. They'll eat white worms and things like that. But
sounds like more effort than what it's worth. By the sounds of it.
To be quite honest with you, some of the foods on the market these days are that good. You don't really need to go to that. Don't need to endeavour into that really. They'll eat, as long as they're all eating, And I will say this before we sign off. If you have got a Discus not eating food, it's a sign he's not very well. And we'll talk about worming in another programme. But no, if good quality Discus flake and good quality beef are, it's fine. That's all you need really. It's not difficult.
So there we are, guys. That's literally a good explanation there on food which is recommended for Discus. Hopefully you've enjoyed our video. Please subscribe if you can to both of our channels, Captain Helmet 69 and Scala U2. Please post some comments if there's any more information, any suggested videos, usual things like that. And if you've enjoyed it, please like our videos. Thank you. Goodbye.